All right, so when I first started in the real estate business, almost 18 years ago, I was on a mission to find out, okay, who is the top producer in my market and the markets all over the country. And I was on a mission to go and shadow those people to find out, okay, what is it that they're doing that I need to bring back to my business and start to implement right away? It just makes sense, right? Find somebody who's already accomplished what you want to accomplish and simply ask them how to do it or have them show you how to do it. This is what I found that was so interesting. It was so weird for me at the time. And then after I understood what was happening, it probably was one of the most impactful things in my career that I'm going to share with you guys in today's video. So when I got started in the business and I would go out there and start shadowing people, when I went there, I had these expectations of a business that was going to be, we'll call it maybe, I don't know, super sexy. It was going to be a business that was very hard to duplicate. That was my expectation, that when I went to go and visit these, what seemed at the time, these superhumans, these people that were selling 100 and 150, 200, 250 houses per year, they were making $1.5, $1.8, $2.2 million selling real estate. What my expectation was going to see these superhumans in life, in person, was something that I thought was going to be completely mind-blowing. But as I set that story up, you could probably guess that just wasn't what I saw. It wasn't what I experienced. It wasn't what I thought I was going to see. What I saw was actually the complete and utter, maybe opposite of what my expectations thought I was going to see. That when I went to go see these people in person, what I did end up seeing was a very, very boring, mundane business model that the whole time I can remember this specifically, going to shadow somebody in particular, that at the time I thought, this person was it. I go back 17 years and I say, okay, if I can have a business like this person, I would want for nothing. That my life would be amazing. And it would be, to be fair. And I remember vividly watching him do his thing to get the results that he got. And I was like, wow. Like, when are you going to show me all the magic? When are you going to show me like all the secret stuff, the special stuff that really are responsible for your results in real estate sales? And I remember him vividly saying, this is the secret sauce. You see, Brandon, what the difference is between top performers and low performers is low performers, it isn't that they don't know what to do. It's just that they simply don't do it. And when they hear and they know that they have to be prospecting every single day, going on appointments, following up with leads, it's super boring. It's not instant gratification. It is not sexy. You don't get any type of praise for that work. It's very, very, very difficult work. It's very lonely. You see, Brandon, that's the point. The point is top performers are actually doing the things that lead to results, where when low performers, they know what to do. It isn't that they have a lack of information. It's just simply that they don't execute on that information. That by itself is the competitive advantage. That if you can do these boring things and be consistent and stay focused in a world of mass distraction, that becomes your competitive advantage. And I said to myself, holy crap, he's right. I started to think about, it isn't about having a business that is super complex. It is a business, it's about having a business that's simple, that's easy to execute, that is scalable. that will make the difference. Because not only was he right about that, I also experienced this myself when I started my business, and some of you might resonate with this as well. The more simple I keep the business, the easier it is for me to execute, and therefore the easier it is for me to get results. And the second I start to overcomplicate things is the very moment when results start to go down as well. Because I actually experienced the exact opposite of what I just told you. So not only in my own business that did I experience when I started to get these fancy CRMs, fancy websites, all kinds of crazy, integrations with Zapier and all these different things to connect this, and I hit this button and it sends this mailer off to. When I try to go down that path and I try to automate everything, well, the only thing I automated was a decline in income. That was the only thing that became automated. That when I kept things very, very basic and very, very simple, very, very easy to execute, that's when my results shot through the roof. And what I learned after now coaching over 6,000 real estate agents, having a real estate brokerage with almost 300 agents, doing $700 million a year in sales, what I learned was that it continues to be true to this very day. That agents that have the most simple, basic businesses that are easy to execute are always the top producers. And that the agents that I go and meet with, or that I coach, or that I consult with, I will go sit with them and I'll say, okay, let me just shadow what's going on. And their business is so complex. There's so much nuance. There's so many moving parts that they spend so much time managing all these different systems and databases and technologies and this integration and that integration and all this stuff that the results suffer dramatically. And what the conclusion I drew from this in the work that I do with coaching and advising real estate salespeople all over the country was this, that in many, many, many cases, the agents that had a business that was super, super complex were the agents who oftentimes knew the most. In other words, they had the most information. They were the ones that went to every seminar. They bought every coaching course. They knew more than most, which as a result caused them to have this overwhelming maybe thought in their mind where they had so much information. They tried to implement all of these different tactics and strategies. As they're learning all this information, they're going to all these seminars, these webinars, all these courses. They're watching every podcast, every YouTube video. So they had all this information and they try to implement all of those things. And as a result, they produced nothing because they spent all their time, energy, and effort on the sexy, shiny strategies that they kept hearing about. And they got caught into creative avoidance. And here's really what I drew from it was this, that those people who knew the most, that had the most information, subconsciously created a business that was so complex that they trick themselves in being productive to avoid the actual work. This is what I believe, because I've seen it so many times that these types of people, you know them, you might even be one of them. They watch every podcast, they watch every YouTube video, they buy every training course, they're at all the seminars, they've been with every single coach. They're the person who can. They're constantly offering unsolicited advice, like, oh, let me tell you how to do that. Oh, I know how to do that. Oh, I know about that. I know about that. I know about that. They're like the person who knows everything that doesn't do anything. They know everything about everything. They just don't do anything. And it's unfortunate that is the reality, that top producers have the most simple business and the low producers have the business models that are the most complex. And it's my belief that people like that have a business model that is complex so that they can continue to live in what I call the mirage of hope. That they're tricking their minds into believing, truly believing, that they are being productive when in fact they are not. When in fact they are doing nothing but avoid the actual work that needs to get done. The actual conversations, the actual setting of appointments, the actual following up with prospects. That work never gets done because they're so busy being busy, creating all these fancy, sexy systems because it's what they believe they need to do in order to be successful, because they cannot accept that business and results can be so simple. Not easy. They can't accept that business and success can be so simple in their mind. They're not consciously thinking about this. It's a subconscious thought. They cannot accept emotionally that people are getting amazing results by just such a simple process, because what seems to be simple to do is also simple not to do. There's got to be more, Brandon, than literally just picking up the phone every day and talking with people and setting appointments. There has to be more than that. And like me, when I went to go visit the top producers around the country and found that time and time again, every single time, that I would walk away almost like I was disappointed, because I was like, wow, that's it? All they do is just pick up phone, make phone calls like a caveman. That's it. Pick up phone, make phone calls. Pick up phone, set appointment, go on appointment, list property, make money. That was it. That's all that I saw. That it wasn't until I implemented this and had a consistent prospecting effort over the course of, call it, the last 10, 12 years, that I was able to see the same results, where before that, bouncing around from shiny object to shiny object, I tell all my coaching clients, there probably was no worse offender than me when it was coming to, that's why I can speak to it so well, because I was that person, bouncing from one coach to the next, bouncing from one course to the next, bouncing from one strategy to the next. At one time, my wife and I figured that I probably have spent $200,000 in real estate on different tactics, strategies, marketing things, seminars, coaches, consultants, all of that to come back and share this with you in this video, that nothing will move the needle more than having conversations with people voice to voice over the telephone and meeting with those people in person, face to face. It all comes back down to that, and that everything else out there is meant to distract you from doing the actual work. So maybe that message resonates with you. Certainly it was my experience as well. Maybe it's something that we all just have to go through so that, we can get to where we need to get to. So if you want to continue to master your craft as a great world-class salesperson, watch this video right here.